You know, I could start this video off by making a joke about how Final Fantasy has become the most ironic video game title in gaming history. I could make fun of the fact that your design and art staff probably have a strong fetish for zippers and belts, especially if they are completely unnecessary. I won't, but before I get into your craptastic DLC, I am, however, going to post a funny image of Eris's death, cause screw your fanboys. Seriously, you're offering us the extra content of playing as our party members? Really? This isn't a really late April Fool's joke. You want to go talk to Capcom about how people feel about on-disc Day 1 DLC? Oh, hold on. You, like Nintendo, will get a free pass because it's Final Fantasy, guys. Square wouldn't screw us over. You can trust them. To you, my fine strawman argument, all I have to say is Final Fantasy all the bravest and augment your pre-order and you can see my apprehension bordering on distrust. Square is not the worst, however. Trust me, so long as EA, Activision, and WB keep their doors open, little Square Enix has a long way to go before becoming Captain McScrooge-your-wallets. This, however, doesn't excuse them. Creating Final Fantasy VII, 6, Kingdom Hearts, Bravely Default doesn't make you a gaming darling that can do no wrong. You are not Bethesda or Nintendo. Your numbers will go down if you kill a man in Times Square. I like DLC as a concept. There is a video or two of Jim Sterling where he explains it, but for those of you too lazy to look up his videos, I love the idea of having more of something I love. The idea behind DLC is that it gives you more content after you finish the majority of the initial experience. It is now, however, being perverted by practices like Day 1 DLC, season passes, and cut content off the disc. Companies like EA, Capcom, good old Square, and even Bethesda are taking in part of these incredibly sketchy practices. Since Square Enix isn't focused today, I want to focus on them, because characters that are in the game that have movement animations and abilities are playable DLC down the road in a potentially $30 season pass. First, you cut up Hitman in Final Fantasy VII and now you feel the need to pull this? Multiple interviews from Square devs are showing this isn't the best time for Final Fantasy. I'm also aware of the many people who comment that Final Fantasy has reached its peak. It's sort of over the hill. That quote came from Hajime Tabata. Square's own director is very aware of how weary players are right now. You have very little good faith to keep the Final Fantasy engines going. A season pass of probably $30 for content I am fairly sure you cut or put aside to intentionally nickel and dime your fanbase is probably not going to go over well. You know what is even worse? I was excited for this one. 13 was endure the crappy characters until they become slightly bearable, except the Aussies, because the Aussies are always cool. The game. All the bravest was your typical mobile feat of weight that was about as fun as watching paint dry. And you almost botched Deus Ex. Now, understand, I want this game to do well. I don't want the devs to lose their jobs, and I understand for the most part it is mostly top-level suits that end up screwing up good work. However, this world has a single language. That is money. When your fanboys get sick of your shenanigans, they will stop putting money your way. No amount of Bravely Defaults, Kingdom Hearts, or Xbox One exclusives will save you at this point. These stunts by you and your competitors are why the indie market is growing. Your continued cynic and insulting view of your fan base is making people tired, and it will go to devs that love their games, love their art, and most importantly love their fans. Now, if you excuse me, I'm off to laugh at people that thought Eris's death scene was sad.
Double. Hey, you stop me!